We always limit ourselves before the world ever does. We fail to see our potential. We tell ourselves, I'm not good enough for that. That is for other people, not someone like me. But this small thinking slowly becomes a prison. Everyone tells you to be realistic, be practical, stay in your lane. I believe that it is easier than ever to dream small without even realizing it. But here's the truth. Your thinking determines your limits. The one who thinks big creates big opportunities. And the one who thinks small stays small forever. This story will show you why the size of your dreams matters more than the size of your wallet. Once upon a time in a poor village lived a young boy named Aryan. His family had nothing, no land, no business, no connections. His father worked as a laborer, earning barely enough to feed the family. Aryan wore torn clothes and often went to bed hungry. But Aryan had something his poverty couldn't touch: big dreams. He would look at the wealthy merchants who passed through the village and think, one day I'll build something even bigger than them. Everyone laughed at him. You? His neighbors would mock. A poor boy with empty pockets? Stop dreaming and accept your place. Even his own family tried to lower his expectations. Be realistic, Aryan, his father said sadly. People like us don't become wealthy. Get a job as a laborer. At least you'll survive. But something inside Aryan refused to accept this. He believed there had to be a way out of poverty. He just didn't know how yet. One day, a successful merchant named Vikram visited the village. His caravan of goods attracted everyone's attention. While others simply stared in envy, Aryan approached him. Sir, Aryan said nervously, how did you become so successful? I want to build something big, but everyone says I'm foolish for dreaming. I have nothing. No money, no education, no family wealth. Can someone like me ever succeed? Vikram looked at the poor boy standing before him with fire in his eyes. He smiled. Walk with me. Let me tell you a story. As they walked through the village, Vikram began his tale. 20 years ago, in this very region, there were two young men, both poor, both hardworking. Their names were Mohan and Sohan. Mohan was practical. When people asked about his dreams, he'd say, I just want a small shop, maybe sell vegetables in the local market. Nothing fancy, just enough to survive comfortably. He thought this was being realistic. Sohan was different. He dreamed of building a trading business that would span multiple cities. People laughed at him. You're a fool, they said. You have no money. How will you even rent one shop, let alone build an empire? Both young men started with the same amount, 50 rupees they had saved over years of hard labor. Mohan thought, 50 rupees is very little. I better use it carefully. I'll buy just enough vegetables for one day of selling, small and safe. So he bought vegetables worth 50 rupees, sold them for 60, and made 10 rupees profit. Good, he thought. Slow and steady. But his thinking stayed small. He bought a little more the next day, sold a little more, made a little more. In 1 year, he had saved enough to rent a tiny shop. After 5 years, he had a modest vegetable stand in the market. After 10 years, he still had the same small stand, making just enough to survive. Meanwhile, Sohan looked at his 50 rupees differently. This is too small, he thought. But it's a start. How can I multiply this quickly? He didn't buy vegetables for one day. Instead, he found a farmer who had a surplus of grain but no way to transport it to the city. Sohan made a bold proposal. Give me the grain on credit. I'll take it to the city, sell it, and we'll split the profit. The farmer agreed because Sohan's confidence convinced him. Sohan took the grain to the city, sold it for a good profit, returned the farmer's share, and kept his portion. Now he had 150 rupees instead of 60. Did he stop there? No. He repeated the process but bigger. He found more farmers. He borrowed a cart. He started thinking about not just one city, but 3 cities. Not just grain, but spices, cloth, metals. People said, "You're taking too much risk. You're being unrealistic." But Sohan's thinking was different. Risk? The biggest risk is thinking small in a big world. Within 5 years, Sohan had a trading network across 5 cities. Within 10 years, he was one of the wealthiest merchants in the region. Today, his family runs a business empire. Vikram paused and looked at Aryan. Do you know who Sohan was? Aryan shook his head. Sohan was my father. And Mohan? He still runs a small vegetable stand, barely surviving, wondering why life never gave him a bigger opportunity. Vikram placed a hand on Aryan's shoulder. The opportunity was the same. The money was the same. The only difference was the size of their thinking. Aryan stood silent, absorbing every word. For the first time he understood. His poverty wasn't the problem. His small thinking would have been the problem. So what should I do? Aryan asked. Stop asking for small things, Vikram said. Stop thinking about survival. Start thinking about impact. What's the biggest thing you can imagine? Now work toward that. You'll fail, you'll struggle, but you'll grow. And even if you achieve half of a big dream, it's still bigger than achieving all of a small dream. That day, Aryan changed. He stopped looking for small jobs. He started thinking about what the village needed most: water. He dreamed of building a well, then a water system, then partnering with the government. People laughed, but Aryan didn't care anymore. 5 years later, Aryan had built a successful water supply business, serving not just his village but 3 neighboring towns. He wasn't the richest man in the region, but he was no longer the poor boy with empty pockets. He was the man who dared to think big. Here's what you can do starting today. First, identify one dream you've made smaller because of fear. Now double it, triple it. What would the biggest version of that dream look like? Second, stop thinking about what you don't have. Start thinking about what you could create. Resources follow bold thinking, not the other way around. Third, surround yourself with big thinkers. Small thinking people will always pull you down to their level. Remember, you don't need money to think big. You need big thinking to create money. If this inspired you, like and comment your biggest dream. No limits, no fear. Till then, stay ambitious, stay bold, and keep thinking bigger than your circumstances.